Okay, party people, this is Michele Lamberti speaking. Today we will look at the very fascinating game. It's played Fischer, the famous Robert James Fischer, against Black Geller. And okay, everybody knows about Fischer. Not a lot of people know about Geller. Geller was one of the greatest player ever lived, and to never go to become a world champion. He has beaten so many of the world champions. I guess he was one of very few that almost beat every world champion, and they really feared him because he was an amazing attacking player, and he had an amazing knowledge about openings at a time where you had no computer to and data banks to help you. And I guess in the 70s he was the assistant of Karpov, and Karpov relied heavily on his opening preparations. And okay, when Geller did not help him, he basically lost. And one game that Karpov lost, his excuse was that Geller was not there to prepare him the night before because he was shopping for his wife. Again, Geller was a extremely talented player. And okay, let's see how he played against Fischer in 1961. And remember, Fischer was very young at that time. He was not at his peak. And okay, let's see what happens. We have a Ruy Lopez here again. We have here the Murphy defense, not the exchange variations. Okay. Okay, this move. People thought that this move is good for Black because White cannot really get rid of this bishop. If he plays h3 and then g4, people believe that this would be better for Black. But after h5, basically White can play d4, and this is a good line. Okay, so Fischer immediately plays h3. Bishop goes back. Pardon me. Bishop goes to h5, and White plays conservatively c3. And okay, now the White King comes to the White Queen comes to f6. He wants to attack here. He wants to exploit the pin here. But at the end of the day, you have a lot of pieces here on the king side, and you have to see how you can untangle them a little bit. And okay, White just said, okay, I don't like this pin, and he pushed the bishop back. The only drawback is, of course, that you are weakening your king side and your king. And now you have like here this battery, and it remains to be seen if Black can untangle his pieces. Okay, now White plays d4, d2, d4. The threat here is to play d5. And okay, this is a pawn sacrifice. Black takes, and you have here like the situation where at the end of the day it's like in the last game, okay, Black has a pawn, but he's not very good developed, and one piece is pinned. The king is still in the middle, so at the end of the day you shouldn't play like that. In the opening you shouldn't go for pawns. You should try to develop. And okay, White just simply reinforced his knight on f3 with bishop with knight to d2. Black just goes back, and white just simply takes here. And okay, let's take a closer look. Okay, what is it that advice that white has? First of all, white has a solid king. Black's king is still in the middle. White's pawn structure is solid. Black's pawn structure is fractured. And look at those pieces. Okay, it's not even up for debate. And okay, making black's pawn structure even worse. And now you have like this basically isolated pawn, and you have like this ruin of a pawn structure. And okay, white takes the pawn, material is up. Black queen cannot take because of this pin, and he will lose. Trying to get rid of the bishop of the knight with bishop to d6, and white is so confident that he just takes here. Normally you would not try to exchange pieces if your position is better and you have more space. You try to keep as many pieces on the board as possible, but white's position is so good. The engine gives +1 net. Yeah, Fischer didn't mind the exchange. Okay, this is like horrible. Okay, now you have like the king is on ff8. Not there's no really possibility to castle, and okay, this is like now getting embarrassing for Geller. Losing against a very young Fischer. And okay, this is like black's only chance. He tries to open up the king side. Basically all his pieces that are still alive are attacking at the king side, and this is like his only chance. But okay, this is like not really helping because white just exchanges on d6, and he exchanged black's only good piece. This is like another recipe to not forget. If your opponent basically only has one good piece, try to exchange it, and automatically you will be better. Okay, this is now all played with tempo. Basically white develops and attacks, and he has a lot of good aims to attack. And yeah, okay, I mean, this is like black here now trying to survive and trying to not get humiliated. Okay, white plays here queen to b3. The threat is to land here on b7 to infiltrate and winning immediately. And yeah, black has no good moves. I mean, if he tries to defend here this pawn with the knight to e7, infiltration happens anyway. The queen would go to b7, and it would be all over. So knowing this, black tried to open up the position and to get somehow a miracle attack, but I basically ignored all of his threats here and played b7. Okay, now black has a couple of spy checks, or basically just one, and that's it. And white kings is totally safe. I mean, if you push, it doesn't matter. The king would go to h1, and that would be the end of the story. Black tried this move, the rook to d8, and white plays the queen to b4, and this is all over because look at the king position. You have to play the knight to e7, and this is like complete torture. So here Geller resides, again one of the greatest player of all time, basically losing in a couple of moves. Yeah, the reason for this was relatively easy. It was this failed opening line that he tried, and Fischer just played easy chess, just developing, and tried to be greedy here, and yeah, that was about it. The engine here gives this move, which I think is definitely better than bishop to g6, what white played, what black played, and then the engine wants this messy line. But at the end of the day, basically white is always up because we have like this pin and the king is in the middle. Okay, let's look at this variation that the engine prefers. Okay, I mean, who, who, who would want to play this as black? So at the end of the day, Geller just made one unfortunate move in the opening, and then in one mistake afterwards, and he was completely lost. But the way that White executed this idea and the principles is really remarkable. I mean, look at this. And it's not that White really played always the best moves, but he just played really simple chess, just attacking, developing, and yeah, here Black has no good move. He cannot play. Let's say he would try to play the king to d7. Then this strong moves comes knight to c4, pinning again, and I mean this is already hopeless. What is it that the engine gives? Okay, he gives this moves, and wait a minute, what is better here? Can we just let me see. Okay, this is like basically crushing. I mean, it's very easy chess, yeah, and basically it's an assault on the black king. There's nothing that black can do. Basically, after 50 moves, white could have resigned, and I'm pretty sure that the only reason that black here continued on until the 22nd move was to not going down in the history books with another miniature losing against Fischer. Okay, very beautiful games. Thank you very much. Bye bye.